If anyone hoped to attack the Conservative Party for running out of ideas after 2 periods of office, this manifesto puts paid to that.
Welcome to the launch of our election manifesto, Labour in 1987, Britain will win. This manifesto is a programme for promoting freedom, for helping our country to be fit for the future.
The purpose of today's press conference is to launch the Alliance Britain United, our programme for government. And if I could start by saying that I believe that this programme for government is the most radical, reforming programme of any government in recent history.
Most politicians like nothing more than to fight a general election. Britain's parliamentarians are no different. The announcement that the country's electors would go to the polls on June the 11th was fairly low-key, a written statement awaiting journalists, but ended months of speculation. Over 43 million Britons are registered to vote in the coming election. Twice in the last 8 years, they've chosen Mrs. Thatcher's right-wing Conservative Party. Her government has brought inflation down to single figures, but at the cost of over 3 million unemployed. However, it isn't only policies that are dominating the 87 campaign. Image is important too.
Okay, please stand by, ladies and gentlemen. Could we all please take our seats? Stand by, music. Ladies and gentlemen, Roy Hattersley, Deputy Leader, Neil Kinnock, Leader of the Labour Party.
And the Conservative Party's media presentations have sat uneasily on some ministerial shoulders.
George Younger, Nigel Lawson, Sir Geoffrey Howe, the Lord Whitelaw.
One of the main issues of the campaign is the economy. The ruling Conservatives are promising zero inflation and a further cut in income tax rates. More state-owned companies will be privatised. There'll be more schemes for those out of work, but no offer to lower drastically the level of unemployment. On the political left, Labour says it will get people back into jobs. Those on high incomes can expect to pay more tax, and there'll be a minimum wage. Labour says it'll also create an investment bank. Defence is an even more contentious issue. Britain, under a Conservative government, would develop its nuclear arsenal. Arms reduction talks would be limited. Labour's non-nuclear defence policy not only does away with that arsenal, but also calls on America to withdraw its nuclear weapons from Britain. The country would stay in NATO, though. The leaders of the alliance parties, David Steel and David Owen, are seeking to hold the middle ground. They say that Britain is tired of swinging between the political right and left. Instead of emphasising difference, the nation should be working for unity. Dr. Owen has ministerial experience, but in a Labour government before he defected to form his own party. Mr. Steel has never been in power. However, the alliance leadership says it is fit to govern, either in its own right, unlikely under Britain's first-past-the-post electoral system, or as part of a coalition. Getting policies across to the electorate necessitates maintaining a high profile. But in the British politics of the 1980s, that has its dangers. Parliamentarians have become terrorist targets, especially when they're ministers and especially when they have responsibility for affairs in Northern Ireland. Threats are taken seriously. Security is tight but can't be foolproof. Politicians still have to campaign. Being seen in public is part of what winning votes is all about. But then, so is letting the electorate see behind the normally closed doors.
Hello. Hello, Emma. Hello, dear. Tigger. Tigger, hello, hello, hello. Yes, you're a lovely spaniel, aren't you?
Think I better have a long
Before me. Think you better have a longer
This
leave.
visit to 10
All
Downing
right,
Street
that's
came
better.
just before
Now
the
you can go and
election date
explore.
was announced.
I've got my year's programme. I think we ought to think about summer holidays, dear.
Yeah.
When we can go.
Some hopes.
Have you got yours?
Some hopes.
Well, if we have an election early, we can go on holiday in August.
Yeah. We have an election late.
We won't go at all.
No holiday. That's right.
Well, I'll believe
Well-
that when I see it.
The Labour leaders also invited the cameras into his Welsh home. He has another in London. But while the visit was slightly less stage-managed than the trip to Downing Street, Neil Kinnock also had his problems in being completely natural.
Right. That was the day I was elected in 1970. Steve was 6 months old.
Viewers heard how Kinnock, studying at Cardiff University, met the woman whom he'd later marry.
I was walking down a corridor, lunchtime canteen corridor, giving out leaflets, asking people to join Socialist Society, and this girl with this lovely brown hair and nice eyes asked me if I was the man from Socialist Society.
And I called him over and he gave me leaflets. And I did register him, and he claims he registered a certain interest in me as well, which we then made something of on the Saturday night.
Labour's worked hard to present itself with a positive image, and opinion polls have shown Kinnock and his shadow cabinet closing the ground on the ruling Conservatives. The alliance parties are finding it hard to keep up the political momentum, vital if they're to be a convincing third political force.
The Alliance Council here for showing me...
A third term for Thatcher would set a prime ministerial record, but electoral failure often has a high price for party leaders. Opposition parties, including the nationalist parties of Scotland and Wales, have already warned that they'll not serve in a coalition government that includes Thatcher. Northern Ireland's Unionists would also demand a price for their support if there's a hung parliament. Thatcher's unmoved.
The more we have been preparing for the manifesto, the more I have realized there is still to do. Indeed, it will take more than one further term to do it.